You open your eyes, hand already reaching out to nothing. Stupid. You press your palms against your eyes and laugh. You really believed it, stupid. You really thought this was it. You really thought helping them would save you. If you helped them, if you were loved, it had to save you, didn't it? Friendship would save you, wouldn't it? It was different, but not enough to save you. And now, Mirabelle is back to feeling awful and out of place. Isabel won't remember the night you spent under the stars. Odile is still hiding everything about herself, and Bonbon is back to Bonnie, is back to hating you. And you're back here. That's what you get for hoping. That's what you deserve. Oh, Mirabelle will be soon, won't she? Just breathe, Siffrin. The power of friendship didn't work. It's fine. All you can do is try something else now. It's fine that it didn't work. It's fine that they don't remember. It's all fine that everything just happened has been reset. It's totally fine. You're fine. You're fine, and you're fine. You're fine. Back to the stage. You got a memory of family. You'll always remember this. When equipped, Memory of Family doubles everyone's experience gained in battle, except for yours. Is that for me? Is that one for me? Memory of Victory. Yeah. You don't want to leave them behind. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one. Honestly, going through broke. I have been... How long have I been playing this game? I have not stopped this game. I have not... It has been 19 hours. Hello? Welcome back, Stardust. Oh, I'm not happy. Power of love didn't cut it, huh? That's too bad. I was hoping this could be it somehow, too. But at least you found out more about your party, didn't you? You had fun, didn't you? What is it all good for if they'll all forget it in the next loop? Yeah, but... For once, Loop seems at a loss for words. In the meantime, though, how can I be of help to you on this wonderful new loop? Okay, what should I do next? You're doing so many different things. Find more about the king. What should I do now? So, the king might not be from Vaugarde. That is interesting information. He smiles smugly. Sounds like asking him stuff was a good idea, huh? Yeah, Stardust, you were right. We really don't know anything about him, so any new information is useful. Your housemaiden mentioned she saw some articles about the king somewhere, didn't she? If she saw some, maybe you should check around the rooms that you explore every time while going through the house. Might be a lot of information, though, so make sure you ask yourself the right questions. Interesting. Okay. Find out more about the loops. What should I do now? So you found out more about Timecraft, and the head housemaiden just repeated everything when you saw her. What else could you do to find more about the loops? Maybe you could talk to someone whose name is Loop, huh? I need a refresher. A refresher? Sure. I'm repeating what you already know, but you're stuck in a time loop. You're repeating the same 2-ish days for when you wake up in Dormont to seemingly when you talk to the head housemaiden. When you get to the head housemaiden, or when you die, you immediately loop back. You're not completely helpless though, since you can more or less control where you loop back. Just the fact that you loop back means you seem to have some sort of control over time. Just like the king. The king has said his power comes from something called Timecraft, so we can assume this is what you're using as well. The power to craft time. It has been hypothesized to exist, but never proven up until the king appeared. Timecraft is supposed to ask for an immense amount of power. It was believed that crafting to pause time for a single second would kill the user immediately. So, how did the king get his power? How did you? You also found out that what happened with the head housemaiden wasn't a one-off. Every time you talk to her, she seems to be repeating the same exact thing until you loop again. She says something is broken, failing, rotting. Interesting. Let's talk about something. Sure. What do you want to talk about? Since I remember, isn't there a chance? A chance of what? A chance that they'd all remember? Who, your party? Oh, is that what you're worried about? Don't worry. You are, and always will be, the only one who remembers previous loops. Which is good news. They won't have to suffer like you do. This pain is yours, and yours alone. What about you, then? Oh, I don't count, Stardust. I'll always remember your mistakes. It's my job. Interesting. Okay. If I remember correctly, it was second floor. If I remember correctly. Oh, it's been 1, 2, 3. You've just passed your 20th loop. 20. Is that a lot or too little still? Back to it. No, this is not the right place. It might be on the 3rd floor. Because there's this, but... It's a nice classroom, isn't it? Wonder what classes were taught here. I have bad memories of this classroom. Oh, this is the one. Yeah, she was a teacher here. Okay, well, that's... No, okay. Okay, it's probably on the 3rd floor then. No. Was it the 1st floor? This is unfortunate. Okay, is it this room? It is. You, right here. They seem to be various newspaper articles about the king. You never looked at them very closely before, have you? You take a step forward. Oh, so many articles about the king. His conquest was slow enough that the Vaugardian press had time to write about him. I remember that. But there's no one to write them now. You all start reading the random articles. This article is about his slow march to Dormant's house. This one is about him probably being from another country than Vaugarde. He really isn't Vaugardian then? Oh, apparently not. This article says there's no record of him anywhere, up until he appeared out of thin air sometime in his adulthood. Looks like he lived in the city of Corbeau for a few years before he became the king. So he was a traveler. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. He's going to be the king. 100%. That's right. He did talk about Vaugardians before. The way he phrased it, it seems like he thought of Vaugardians as people other than himself. He said he thought of Vaugarde as welcoming. Always willing to welcome people in, even someone with no name, no home to speak of. You should go and ask the king where he's from later. This article is about his fashion sense. Huh? From what I've heard, he does have a very distinctive hairstyle. This article is more about his armor, actually. They included a sketch. Look. Well, it's very... shiny? I suppose. Very imposing. There's something that caught your attention, though. The stars. The patterns. The patterns? On his chest and gauntlets, you mean? Those are stars. Stars? What's a star? The dots in the sky, correct? You nod. This article here does mention his speech mannerisms. Stars and sky-related things seem to be something he comes back to often. Stars, huh? What could be interesting about them? Stars. Is there somewhere in the house where you could find out more about them? More about stars? Oh, I know where... Oh, I know. The, fuck, where was it? I think it's floor 3. I think floor 3 has it. Okay, back here again. Okay, so... Instead, we need to go to the observatory. Perfect. Observatory. Whoa! Where are we? There's a big window over there, see? What? Was there a room like this in the house? Yeah, I remember. Someone was working here, studying. They looked like... Sorry, I can't remember.
Dot in the sky, though. That's stars. Those are stars, right?
Stars, like the king's armor. Indeed. We should look around. How do you remember that? How do you guys remember that? Is it because this loop? No, because I broke the loop. Okay, I'm so confused at the logic here. There's a book in Kabwan open on the table. You all look at Odile. A Kabwan book here in Vaugarde. How rare. The title translates to Colors Through Time. It seems to be an essay about color theory. Color theory? What's a color? We don't have time for this. Yeah, you don't really care. You can go and reread the book about colors in the secret library if you're so curious. Interesting. A pile of papers. Something is written on them. Looks like a child tried to write down their first word. That sure is some awful handwriting. And a determined child. Looks like they tried to write the same word on all those papers. A pile of papers, but you can't read it. But you are... What the f... You are not able to read it. What in the world was that? A world globe. We are here. Isabeau points to where you are, on the lower half of the globe. Vaugarde, the land of change. Kabou is here. Odile points to a big country, far from Vaugarde. Kabou, a country you visited at least once.
And Bambouche is here.
Bonnie points to a spot almost on the edge of Vaugarde. You look away from the globe. A telescope. It's dusty.
What's that?
Oh, I've seen one of those before. That's a telescope. I think you watch the sky with it?
Like clouds?
Like stars, I think. During the night, since they're not here during the day.
Stars? Boring.
A big window.
Stars.
But don't they only appear at night? We left early in the morning, so it should still be light outside. I've heard it's always nighttime near the king. Maybe this is his influence. It was dark around the house yesterday, too, remember? The stars. Stars like the king's armor. Stars like the king keeps mentioning. Stars like... You should remember them. Something in you tells you you should. Every time you raise your head and look up at them, you feel like it's something you've done dozens, hundreds, thousands of times. But you can't remember any of it. You can't remember what you were even trying to see looking up at them. The king. Every time you face him, he asks you the same question. Do you remember? Remembering is not something you're very good at. There's so much you can't remember. You're a very forgetful person after all. You can't remember basic items. You forget where you're going half the time. You can barely remember people's names. You've noticed you're starting to forget whole loops. You can barely remember anything that happened before you started looping in time. You can barely remember anything that happened before You breathe out and unclench your fists. What you can and can't remember doesn't matter much now, does it? The king. Does he want you to remember something? Does he... You should go and ask the king what he wants you to remember later. Let's ask. What should I remember? Every single time you face him, he asks if you remember. There's something he thinks you should know, should remember, but... Does it really matter, Siffrin? He could be just trying to confuse you.
Yeah, speaking in riddles to Frin. Stop trying to confuse him. He hasn't forgotten anything.
But you have, haven't you? You try not to think about it, but... What have I forgotten? Forgotten? Oh, right one. Why? Why would you ask? Don't you know at this point what you've forgotten? Haven't you always known? Can't you see the hole it has left behind? If not, what used to fill it? Don't you feel it? Its absence? What the crap is all of it? You've forgotten it all, Bright One. They all have. We all have. No one can say it. No one can even remember it. Oh, he's talking about the city or the town that was forgotten about? It escapes us. It will keep escaping us. Oh, why don't you remember? I can tell. Everything from your accent to the way you use craft, to the stitching on your cloak and hat, to the pins you wear. You should remember. You and I, of all people standing here, should remember. So he's from there too? It's either that he's from that forgotten land by everyone, or that they're the same person. Bright One, please, please, just remember it. Say it. Make it real. Please. If you can remember, then maybe. What is happening? Is he okay? Something we've all forgotten.
I haven't forgotten anything, stupid.
Civ? Something you've forgotten. Something everyone has, even if they don't pay attention to it. The hole it is left behind. Something bigger than just the stars. What you're trying to remember doesn't exist anymore, but someone might have still have written proof it existed, haven't they? Ask the king. Where are you from? Oh, he didn't like that. The king looks straight at you. What about you, Bright One? Where are you from? You flinch. You do not answer. You cannot answer. Well, either way, let's give it to Odile. Disappear, disappear, disappear. Disappear. I can't disappear. Not yet. Not when I still can't say it. Still can't say, what, the name of your home? Because at that point, that's the only thing that I can think of. Oh, can we group hug after I speak to the head housemaiden? Oh, would you be okay with it? I'd love to. You should make sure to talk to everyone before talking to Isabeau. Yeah, I did. Isabeau, please, tell me you love me. Tell me you love me. You said you wanted to tell me something? Are you both finished? Please wrap it up so we can go. There's so much we have to do before we can go back to our lives. You two can talk later, okay? Oh, Gems. Did I interrupt? It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Are you sure? No problem. Don't worry about it. There has to be a better moment later. A better moment than saving the country. Ugh. Anyway, Civ, I'm glad this is over. I can't wait to go back to my old job, you know? Make sure to say hi when you're in Juvent, alright? Dang it, bro. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. I'd like to thank you for accompanying. I understand. Siverin. Do you even see me? Am I real to you right now? Real? What are you? Yep. Oh no. No. You sigh. It's fine. She isn't real to you right now either. You wait for her to finish. The smell of burnt sugar. Again. It's been following you for a while, for so long you can't even remember when it started. But when you talk to her, it's overpowering. So overpowering you could throw up. I know you thought your quest, something's broken, something's failing, rotting. I can't fix it on my own, not before it all ends. If only I had noticed sooner. I should have seen it, prevented it. Like every time you're about to loop back in time, you feel a tug on your stomach. You usually don't pay attention to the tug, but there's nothing else to focus on right now. You wonder what that's all about. Any second now. The curtain falls. And we're back. Loop 29. Loop 29? 20... I did not go through 29. What do you... I was at 20 like 30 minutes ago. And I can't have done 9 loops in that period. I at least did 5. So something I've forgotten. So I need to find Loop again and talk to them. Here again. I was actually just thinking about it. Absolutely, I'll let everyone know. I'll talk to you later. Leave me alone. Please, I need to figure out why the world is going haywire. Hello, Loop. Hi, Stardust. So? Got any theories about the loops I'm trapped in? Why would I? Your name is literally Loop. Oh, stars above it is. Just because I call myself Loop doesn't mean I know anything. I'm just bad at names. But I'll see what I can do. What's your question? Do you know anything that could help? Such a broad question, Stardust. As I've told you before, I know as much as you do right now. How can that be? What do you mean? Aren't you here to help me? Why don't you know more about the loops that you're supposed to help me with? I still don't have a good answer for you, Stardust. Isn't it already nice that you have me to talk to about these loops? You could be alone, stuck with your only tiny brain for company, with no one to talk to. Okay. Well, why don't we summarize what we know about those loops? We might find something out. You sigh and nod. Nothing better to do, you suppose. Alright, I guess we'll say this again. The loop starts when you wake up in Dormont and seems to end when you talk to the head housemaiden. Unless I die first or touch a tear. Yes, maybe the loop considers getting frozen in time by those tears a sort of death? But why aren't you looping back when you get frozen in battle? Isn't it because... I thought the tears work differently than the actual time freeze skill. Is that so? Well, you're the one getting frozen, so you'd know. So, you loop if something keeps you from advancing in some way. I wonder if other things would count as keeping you from advancing. Like what? Like, what if you cut off your legs? Would you immediately loop back? You can't advance if you have no legs, right? I'd rather not test that one. Aw, but understandable. What makes the loop actually loop? You feel like you can remember a few times when time looped back on its own, even if it was just a few minutes. Maybe... Does the loop consider talking to the head housemaiden something that keeps you from advancing somehow? Oh, maybe, but what would advancing even mean then? Towards what goal? Is there something that happens when you talk to the head housemaiden that makes a certain goal impossible to accomplish? As you found out, all of this might be the work of timecraft, power that should be impossible to use, but you and the king are somehow able to manipulate it. But I am manipulating timecraft. Am I manipulating timecraft if I can't control it? But you can, can't you? You can more or less control where you come back, except when you talk to the head housemaiden, it seems, which brings you back to the start. But being able to loop back in time and avoid death might count as you being able to use timecraft. But if timecraft is supposed to be too dangerous to even use, how did I get that power? And how can you break the loop for good? Yeah, those are the big questions, aren't they? I do wonder about the limitations of your powers, still. What makes you actually loop? Somehow, I feel like finding out more about that would be useful. Huh. Stardust, we've been talking for a while, so maybe not right now, but when you have some time, will you hang out with me for a bit? Huh? Hang out? I have a theory I'd like to test. And we haven't spent any time together, Stardust. I'm lonely. I want to have a long conversation with someone. Anyone. I want to hang out. Again, it doesn't have to be right now. Our little hangout time might last a while. Maybe even longer than the rest of the day. I'm sure you have plans for this loop, so I can wait until you have time. Okay? A theory loop would like to test about the loops? It might be useful. We can hang out. Oh! Our theory hangout! Yes! But we can't actually hang out right now. It'd be pretty useless. So how about you come back here early tomorrow after you're done acting things out at the clock tower? Wait, you want me to sneak out? And spend a loop with me, yes! But you always go to the house after the clock tower. If you're not here, what will everyone do? What will everyone think? Does it matter what they think? They'll forget it all in your next loop after all. It matters. So you won't do it? You won't come out and hang out with little old me? I'll come, yeah. Neat. I'll see you soon then. You nod. You spend the rest of the night with everyone. Early in the morning, while everyone is still asleep, you quietly slip away and head to the favorite tree. Weird. But you can't see Loop anywhere. Up there, Stardust. Up there. Up there? Did Loop go back to their home or something? You look up. Loop is waving at you from the top of the tree. I'm here. Come and join me, Stardust. How? Oh, come on. Just climb the tree. I know you can do it. You sigh and climb the tree. Aww. Ah, isn't it pretty, Stardust? We're so high up. You are. You can see the house from there. Everyone will be inside the house soon. You try not to think about it. If you hang out with me, it'll take some time and... Well, you know how this goes. I sure do. I haven't actually prepared anything to talk about. So, tell me about yourself, Stardust. Really? I'd rather not. Huh? Why not? Don't you already know me? It just feels like it. You know too much about me. You knew my name. You know how I think. You knew me before we even met, didn't you? Kind of. Kind of? Do I know you? Oh, no, you don't know me. Don't worry, your memory isn't failing you this time. When we met under the favor tree, that was the very first time we've ever seen each other. Is that so? So then, is that why you're helping me? Because you know me? Oh, not really. When I decided to help you, you were not a factor in the slightest. You are now, I suppose. But does that mean you'll actually believe me when I say I'm here to help? You really believe that I'm here to help you? I do. Oh. You always surprise me, Stardust. I know I wouldn't believe myself if I was in your place. Maybe time has made me more jaded than you are. But it's fine. Whether you believe me or not, I'm here to help you, so you can escape this loop. So you believe it's possible? For me to escape? Of course. Why would I be here otherwise? I'm trapped here with you, after all. I want to escape just as much as you do. I know how it feels, you know. To be stuck somewhere, with no hope of escape. Taking any deviation as a sign that things are finally going to change, that everything will be okay, and finding yourself trapped still. Look at me, talking and talking. Don't pay attention to me. I'm doing fine. Loop laughs sadly and looks at the house in the distance. Tell me about yourself, Loop. I'd rather not. Loop winks and blows you a kiss. Despite yourself, you laugh. You hear Loop laugh softly as well. Say, Stardust, that reminds me. I can't believe your first death was being crushed by the very first trap. How embarrassing! Hey! You and Loop animatedly talk about the different things you've done during your loops. It's nice to be able to talk about them with someone. You talk and talk until the sun has risen high above you in the sky. Ah, it'll happen soon now.
What will?
The theory crafting part of our hangout session, of course.
You open your mouth to ask, and then... Whoa. You heard a horrible sound. Your head... You saw something.
I'm glad you decided to spend some time with me, Stardust. Sorry it's gonna end with this. I thought maybe it wouldn't happen, but... See that light in the distance? It's from the King's floor. I see it every time you get far enough to fight him. His first attack.
The King's first attack? How long have you been talking to Loop? Who was the King attacking? Who was he... The King doesn't attack or do anything until you get to him. He would only attack if someone...
I can feel it every time. Whatever he does, it makes you see something, doesn't it? Something awful. Something so terrible that it's enough to bring anyone close enough to their knees. Stars, I wonder who he attacked.
You can't even hear Loop speak. Your friends... They were against the King just now. You know how to survive his first attack, and you found out, but... You hear someone cry out. You look at Loop. Oh shit. Loop is just looking at you, not saying anything. There's no pity in their gaze, no sadness. Just some slight impatience, like, did you figure it out yet? Did you figure out what made the King attack just now? There's only one answer, Stardust. Just figure it out already so we can move on. Who was the King fighting? Who did the King just kill?
Did you figure it out yet? Did you?
You start screaming. It's because you weren't there. They died because you weren't there. They're gone because you weren't there. You clutch your head, your hair, your stomach, because you weren't there. Because of you, they're gone. They're gone. Because of you, because of you, because of you, because of you, because of you. Oh my goodness gracious. You stumble and fall to your knees. You breathe harshly in and out. It's not working. You can't take a full breath. You can't. You hit the ground with your fist. Why? Loop does not answer. Did you know that would happen?
Which part? You looping back or your party dying? I had a suspicion about the former. I was certain about the latter.
You... Loop is looking straight at you. They don't even seem to care that you drew out your dagger. Somehow, this calms you down. What was that for?
For funsies, of course.
You take a step forward.
And because I was curious to know how the loops work. Aren't you?
How the loops work? How could what just happened teach you anything about the loops?
Think, Stardust. Why did you loop back just now?
Because the King won, isn't it?
Why would the King winning make you loop? You don't immediately loop back the second you and your party lose, don't you?
Don't you? I kind of do, though.
No, Stardust. You loop when you die.
No, it takes a little bit.
You loop when you die, Stardust. The fact that the King wins is irrelevant. But you didn't die just now, did you? So why did you loop?
But...
It's the same with the head housemaiden. You don't die when you talk to her, so what makes you loop? You loop when the head housemaiden talks to you, and you looped just now. Why? Don't you think this could be important to figure out?
Loop's right. There have been other times you looped back without dying too, but what could be the reason?
I wasn't lying when I said I wanted to spend time with you. We never got the opportunity to really talk after all. But yes, I figured that would happen. I won't say sorry. You can stop waiting for it.
You don't answer.
Well, looks like that's all you can find out about the loops for now. But you can still find out more about the King, can't you? I'll be ready to help you out next loop. But for now, I think we both need some time. Come back next loop, Stardust.
You just walk away. Yeah, that makes sense on their part to test that theory out. Okay, crap, what should I do?
Hello, Loop speaking. Thank you for calling. How may I help you?
What should I do now?
The king says everyone has forgotten something, including himself, including you. But why would anyone write down what they've forgotten? Why would anyone know of its importance if they can't remember? Except, you know, don't you? Something no one can remember, other than the stars. You have proof. You just need to go find it again.
You don't want to have to open that diary again, but you have to. So the diary was in here, right? In the normal life? Oh my gosh, come on. Diary. Mirabelle catches you looking.
Oh, this one looks fairly recent. We could read it a little bit. Like, a tiny bit.
You probably should right now. Sure. We do not have time, is what I would usually say, but I also love to think about boring, mundane, everyday problems for a bit. Dear diary, save us from thinking about our problems.
Val, pick a page.
1 page, and then we're going.
I'm reading again? Okay,
There we go. Ugh. Also, Dad noticed no one can say the name of the island north of here anymore. I tried to say it yesterday, and I got like the weirdest headache for hours. Might trick my friends into saying it tomorrow. The rest is just doodles of a little girl laughing uproariously. Ah, the island north of Vaugarde. I remember when it happened. Well, remember isn't the right word, is it? We all just know something happened. An entire stretch of land disappearing from people's minds doesn't happen often, does it?
I think my village was really close to it. My sister said it was all everyone could talk about for weeks.
That's so frightening. I'm glad that whatever happened, she didn't get caught up in it.
Oh, yeah. Still, that country's name, what was its name again?
I think it was something like,
Don't
say it. What? You open your mouth, but no sound comes out. The name of this country, you try to remember. Remember. Only silence answers you. Is this what the king wanted you to remember? Just remember it. Say it. Make it real. You can't say it. You don't even want to try, but... You turn to Isabeau. But can you try and say it anyway? But why? It's just gonna give me a headache. Isabeau looks at you. Something about your expression makes him reconsider. Well, sure, Civ. I'll say it. That country's name was... You know, I had it before, but now that I'm actively trying to remember it, nothing comes to mind. Is that so?
You're dumb, Za. I know it. It's... But...
Wait.
Huh? What's...
Can't remember it either, yeah? When you asked me, answering you felt automatic, like if you asked me what 1 + 1 makes. But trying to remember it now is more like...
Like calculating 72 times 89.
Nah, that's 6,408. I have a brain and I know how to use it.
What?
Isabeau? Nah, it felt more like asking me to remember my first steps. How can I remember that? I can't remember that. How can you expect me to remember that? What a terrible analogy. But I can't seem to remember it either. When we were talking about it, I could think about it clearly, but trying to remember it now, let alone say it...
I can't remember the country itself either. I just remember it was on an island north of Vaugarde, and it had a different belief than the change belief, didn't it? Something about the sky?
The universe.
That's right, the universe.
Oh yeah, like stars and stuff.
We also know that people could remember that country clearly before. And... my head is killing me.
And we know that trying to remember stuff makes our brains hurt.
Let's stop here. It'd be bad to fight the king with a raging migraine. Yeah, sorry we couldn't say it, Civ. You don't respond. Oof. Stars. So the king is from that country as well. The country no one can remember. Your country. The country you were born in, raised in, and spent your entire childhood in. And yet, even now, thinking about it, what it may have looked like, you can't even imagine it. For a long time now, you haven't been able to remember anything about it. You forget it even exists half the time. Anything linked to that country has just stopped existing for you. Your childhood, your parents, your life, your language, your culture, your faith, the stars, the constellations, the universe. It's all gone, forgotten. The king, he was from there, you're sure of it. And then something happened, and the country disappeared without a trace. No one can remember what made everyone forget about its very existence. But something must have, right? But if it happened, if he's so attached to it, he asks you if you remember it every single time you see him. If he's so attached to that country, why would he be so obsessed with Vaugarde then? Why would he decide to freeze it all in time? You can't figure it out quite yet, but there must be something somewhere, something that's similar to his goal. Something that's similar to his goal? Loop, you're gonna have to call me on this one. I don't know. What should I do now?
So the king is from that country, the country that no one can remember. The way he asks if you remember every time you meet him, the way he talks about the stars, the universe, I never knew before. Never would have guessed. But then,
why is he so focused on Vaugarde?
Exactly. Why freeze Vaugarde in time specifically?
We know he appeared in Vaugarde in his adulthood.
In the city of Corbeau, right? It's a nice place to live, and he must have stayed long enough to have put down some roots.
He said earlier. He thought Vaugarde was perfect.
Perfect. And yet he wanted to freeze it in time. Freezing something perfect in time. Somehow, it reminded me of something, but I forgot. You should look around for something similar to what he wants. Come to me if you get stuck.
Yeah, I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
Like a picture.
Oh shit. The mirror? Oh my gosh. The picture. Okay, that's third floor. Okay, boys, let's go. I meant to say guys, and then I said boys, and I don't know why. Picture. Behold.
Oh.
You got the mirror picture. It's proof. Proof that you're here on this journey. Proof that you were with your family members. Proof that you love them. Even if you forget, and you forget a lot, it's proof that you and your friends existed. Proof that you were happy. Proof that this moment happened. Perfectly frozen in time. After the country was forgotten, the king was welcomed by Vaugarde, wasn't he? Welcomed and helped and loved. To the point where he sees Vaugarde as perfect, but no one knows why the country was forgotten. What's keeping Vaugarde from being forgotten the exact same way? Wasn't it his duty, as thanks for welcoming him, to make sure such a fate would never befall Vaugarde? What else could he do? But make sure this perfect country was preserved in amber forever. How could he ever let it go? You understand the king more than you'd like to, because you are him. Like, there's so much pointing to you being him. It's insane. But still, he's... You want to talk to him again. Hello. You and your luxurious hair. Do you remember? Does it matter? But what else does? We shall fight. Yeah, okay. Where are you from? Will he say it if you ask? Can he say it? Someone asked you this exact question before and you couldn't answer. You couldn't say anything. You forgot it all, but where I'm from? Oh, right one. If you're asking with such a look in your eye, do you remember then? Can you see it? Can you picture it, bright one? Please, you can't. You have to remember. I know you can. We both can. We're the only ones present here who can. Sifrin, what is he talking about? Siv? Are you okay? Right one. No. You're trying, I can tell. But the knowledge keeps escaping you, doesn't it? Slipping through your fingers. It is the same for me. But we have to try to remember, bright one. I see flashes of it, of what was. The mountains, the sea, the lightless sand, dark like the night sky. Our country, bright one. Our country. Our home. We have to say it. We cannot let oblivion win. Our home. We have to rebuild it together. Your power and mine. We just have to wish for it. We just have to ask. We just have to say its name. Whoa. Oh my gosh, that scared me. Siv? No. No. You heard it. He said it. He tried to say it. Your country's name. Your home. Your... No, it's gone. It's gone. Did he say it? All of it? Did he say it? You couldn't hear it. Can't remember it. Can't... Oh, what's happening? The king is attacking Sivrin. Everyone, protect him. Stop talking. Leave Frin alone. Siv. Your head, it feels like it's splitting in two. Your country, your home. You can't remember it. It's gone. It's gone. Gone from your past, gone from your mind, gone from the very planet you stand on, and it was yours. It was yours. It was yours and it's gone and you can't even say its name. But if the king could, then maybe. Say it. You have to say it. If he couldn't do it, then maybe you can. Maybe you both can. Bright one, please. You inhale. You try to grasp it. Grasp its name. Oh my gosh. It's killing both of us. No. Your throat, your head, it hurts. You spit blood, you hack up. You have to get it out. Bright one, I almost heard it. Please, again. Once again, we have to try. Together. Your entire body hurts. Say it. Your head is killing you, but you have to try. You have to. We have to stop the king. Whatever he's telling you to say, stop. Frin! Sifrin! But you have to. You have to. What do they know anyway? What do they understand anyway? The pain of not remembering your own blinding country? Your own home? The king is right. You have to get it back. You have to get it back. You inhale. Oh my gosh. Someone is screaming. You realize it's your own voice. Your throat feels raw and your head feels like it's splitting in two. Your stomach feels like a black hole. The scent of sugar is all around you. So thick you almost gag on it. You can't hold on to anything anymore. You